Personally, I'm trying to give you guys the only anime manga eye tutorial you will ever need in your life. In your life, I say! Hola people, I'm back again, redoing one of my old drawing tutorials for the new updated how to draw playlist. And today it's all about how to draw eyes for anime and manga, especially if you're a beginner. And step by step, I will go over the things that I keep in mind. And we're going to keep it real basic and simple, so it's easy for you to follow. And in future videos where I draw eyes, maybe from different angles or things like that, it'll be much easier for you to adapt to more complex how to draw eye tutorials. One of the first things to think about when drawing the eyes, because it's so expressive, you have to come up with what expression you're going for. But here, since it's a basic tutorial, I'm just gonna have an almost blank expression. Not too blank, just a normal face. Just a normal expression. Then you decide whether it's male or female. For this video, we'll just go female. And at the end, we'll illustrate one for male eyes. So when we're done figuring out the expression and whether the character is male or female, the next step is to figure out the shape and size of the eyes and the eyebrows. So you have this straight line over here, and I'm just having two boxes to just let me know where I'm going to place the shapes. And this line here is the guideline that just helps us with the head. If this was, say, the skull, and then we do the lines for the jaw to have that oval shape for the head, which I also have a video on. Nothing too crazy. I'm making sure these are pretty light sketches. And then figuring out the shape of the eye, right? With anime and manga, there's all sorts of characters and all sorts of shapes and sizes of eyes and styles. So feel free to pick your own shape and follow with the video. We could literally go triangle, which is very similar to like a Dragon Ball. We could go circle, which is more in tune with, say, one of the oval shapes of a character you see on My Hero. We could literally go box, because there's some characters that kind of have shapes like that. And those are just the basic shapes that we will then fine-tune to make it look more organic as we go on. These are just guidelines to help you, and as time goes on, you're not going to need them, especially if you keep practicing. So we had a rectangle with a lot of length, kind of split in the middle, two more rectangles, identical widths, eye up here, eyebrow here, same on the opposite end. We kind of have squares here and we split it in half. And we want to form like a rhombus, which is closer to my style. A rhombus shape, and that's kind of like what we're going to go with to then make it look a little more organic. Now I want to give it a little more curve to really get the shape I want. And you kind of have to go, maybe come down a bit. So you're curving like that, and then you're curving like so. Doing that curl. You go up a bit and then come down. And then you do the other. Go down a little bit and come back up. And there you go. Now we can get rid of some of the unwanted lines a little bit. And we're just gonna keep this middle line, we can erase these, just to keep the sketch pretty loose still. Because now the next step is kind of based on you and your style. Because we're gonna be figuring out what lines connect, what lines don't. And we're gonna be a little more experimental, just a little bit. We know that the line above and the line below are supposed to represent the eyelashes. And usually, especially for females, the line above is much thicker than below. How much the lines actually connect, how thick the lines are, things like that. If you want lashes flying all over the place, that's kind of up to you. So you can experiment with that if you're following along. The lines above, thicker. Creating that space to then fill in. So basically just mimicking the lines, but having one just below. And then we're not going to connect the whole thing. Maybe give it a little curl here to indicate lashes. How long that is, kind of up to you. Here we're going to do something that I do in my style, where I kind of have two lines. One to show where the eye begins, and another to show where the eyelashes begin. Now usually the one for the lashes, I have it be shorter than the one to show where the eye starts to open up. And I do the same here. Like so. And then I stop drawing lines. So now we've done the upper eyelash. Then I have just a short line, a little dash here for the lower lashes. And then we can do some strokes to really sell that they're lashes. Some people can do just 3. Some people do more. Some people have them be thick. Some people have them be longer as they're closer to the edge. As you draw them towards the left, they start to get a little shorter, which is what we're going to go for here. Yeah, I'll just have just 3. We have some below. Now usually the ones below are less than the ones above. Now I'm just going to do the same thing to the other eye. Mind you, if you're drawing a male like I'll do as we close the video, the upper lashes are usually not that much. The lashes here are usually only thicker to just show there's a lot more makeup on the character. So if you were drawing a dude that wore a lot of makeup, then you may want to do all this stuff. In this style here, we're not connecting all the lines. Again, that's a decision you have to make. We're putting only 3 below. I did 6 at the top. We're going to do another 6. You can do like simple lines first before you go all ham to make it easier for you. Another thing you can do, not everybody does it, especially depending on the character. You can have a line to indicate eyelids. You just have one that just goes that. And remember that line that went across? And we'll just use that to guide you. You don't always need to have it, but some people do. And they really come in handy when you're showing expressions, which we'll do for future videos. So if you guys are interested in all that kind of stuff, just stay tuned for the future videos because we'll cover a lot of stuff. Don't be afraid to use the eraser wherever you see fit. Sometimes you might want to take a step back if things aren't looking right, and you correct. The thicker I make her lower lashes, the more goth she's going to come off. Now, same deal as before. We're going to figure out the eyebrows for the character. First, we want to start with the shape. Those 2 lines over here to show that space between the eyes. If it helps to not erase all your guidelines immediately, you can do that. But those lines, we'll kind of use that to start the eyebrows, because the eyebrows will kind of start somewhere in the middle here. And then we figure out the shape. Again, it could be a circle. I'm sure you guys have seen anime characters with eyebrows that are just that. Or you see anime characters with eyebrows that are this, basically triangles. But we're going to keep it pretty simple here. Again, do, a pretty normal size eyebrow where we go box, box, rectangle, rectangle. And then, maybe another rectangle. And we make sure to go past the eye. And then just connect. Right? We'll make it look a little more organic as time goes on. So just so you guys can see that the box is a little better. Somewhere there. So we start somewhere in the middle. Go down. Go up. Where this bend happens is towards the end of the eye. And then we keep it down. Again, we want to pass. Right? The lower you make this, the angrier she looks. So I don't want her to look too angry. So we're going to pull it back up. Remember, we start from the middle. Now let's start maybe a little 3/4. As a quick bonus expression tip. But again, that'll be a future video. We know where everything kind of goes on that front. Raise a little bit. Make it look a little more organic. And do that. The lines are a little more loose. And then the end is kind of coming to a point for this character. But the shape of the eyebrow is something you need to figure out. And then once you have that figured out, you just have these lines to make it look a little more organic. Sometimes I have little lines to just indicate the strands of hair. Or we just cover the whole thing black if the eyebrows are black. And these are just quick strokes. Kind of fun. Nothing too crazy. And then maybe as you're going towards the end of it, you can change the direction of the stroke to something like this, or you can just continue. Next step, pupil and iris. You have the circle, That's the pupil, or the parts I'm shading in. That's the iris. Now again, the shape. Want to figure out where it's going to be. Again, we're doing a basic thing here. We're just having a circle. And the line actually goes beyond the lashes. And we have a little circle there. The line, just make sure the line goes across, because if you just have it in the middle, it just depends on what you want to do. You've seen cases where maybe they want to draw a shocked character and they do something like this. And then they have some like tired lines, whatever. But we're not doing that. Again, we're keeping it simple for this tutorial. So you draw a circle. It looks more natural if the circle kind of goes beyond. And then we go to the middle of the circle, which is right there, and we do the pupil. It's up to you how thick you want them to be, how dilated you want them to be. If you really want to go anime with it, it could be a freaking star if you wanted. Up to you. This is where anime and manga creators go wild. They go start doing some crazy stuff. Again, future videos, we'll go over that. Keep it simple. That did look cool though. And then the iris is up to you how you want to do that. Do you want a gradient that goes dark to light from top to bottom? Do you want weird tie-dye colors? You can go ham, right? A lot of anime do a lot of weird stuff. But for this tutorial, I'm going to make the pupils a little more dilated. And then we're going to go from dark to light. Keeping it simple for this tutorial. Sometimes you can make the edges thicker at the top, and it's almost like the lines are getting thinner. And then you can really go ham to get the gradient in. And then you can do something where you have like a subtle bounce light at the bottom, and maybe we just erase that part. Purposely using the eraser to do it. There's some people that don't do the gradient, and they just have 3 lines like this. Or they do a combination of both. Now I want to do the same thing to the other eye. Keep track of where we started. Somewhere around here. So start here. It's up to you how you want to shade, how you want to add that gradient. That's kind of up to you. That's your style. That's where you are allowed to have a lot of freedom, which is one of the differences that you would get from this video versus other tutorials. And then, you know, to be consistent, we'll finish it up just to say it have the same effect. We'll do a little erasing. And then we'll put the 3 lines. I'm already kind of liking where this is going. I can kind of see where the forehead is going to be, where the nose is going to be. If you wanted, you could do some shading at the top. It's not necessary. Up to you. And then, you know, there are some art styles out there where it's done. It is done like this. But one of the last steps to really add that life into the character would be the lights and the reflection to the eyes, right? To really make it pop. The light usually, especially in anime and manga, you mostly see it on the same end. So if we put it over here, we'll put it over here too. You have to decide how many of those lights are going to be reflecting on the eyes. What are the shapes going to be? Are they going to be square, circle? Square and circle are the usual suspects, but go ham. It's your style. Triangle, do what you want. So I'm just going to erase those parts that I want a little bit. Over there. Erase that. In some cases, that's what you want. You don't really want to give it an outline, but in some cases, you do. So we're going to do both, where we'll have one over there, and let's say we do something right there. We'll do another right there. Right? Maybe for one, we want to give it a shape. And we almost want to connect the lines back, but not completely. And maybe around it, we just want to make it look darker. It starts to look a little shinier. Just around the circle, so it'll make that light pop more. And then for the second one, you know, let's leave it as is. Just to show you that freedom. Like, I didn't plan for that, but that's what we're gonna do. If the character's head is tilting a little more towards this direction, you definitely do this one. If the head is tilting a little more to the opposite direction, then you do it here. Completely up to you. I'm actually going to do the strokes for the hair and the eyebrows completely. That's the style I've decided to go with. Make the eyebrows pop a little more. It could have been a flat black if you wanted. This way I can have some lines at the end over here, kind of pop out. Makes it look a little more realistic. And these are your eyes. And now drawing the male character eyes. Try to have fun with it. I didn't plan on landing where we landed there, but we landed there. Please, that's it for this video. Don't forget to hit the like button. United States is smash that subscribe button. Hit that bell so you stay notified each time I upload absolutely anything. Follow me at WHYTMANGA basically everywhere, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. One of the cool things that sets this video apart from other tutorials like this is I make comics. And you guys can go read the first chapter of my comic, Apple Black. Links on how to read it, where to get the volumes, everything will be in the description. Published and serialized in Saturday AM. We publish the world's most diverse manga anthology, so I highly recommend you guys go download our app. It is free. The latest issues of Saturday AM are always free on the app as well. Get 2 free months of Skillshare. You're welcome. Binge my other videos. It's WHYTMANGA. And I'm outie.